audio, I've been told.
Yeah, test 1, 2, 3. We are here at Button Park. Could we see history in the making? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, beautiful. Hello and welcome to Barton Park. Not even Sydney's weather could rain on Spirit's parade. They are on the verge of history tonight. A point or a win against St. George FC, and they will have the premiership in their hands. They'll be so close they could almost touch it. But they will also book their spot in the Australia Championship with a point tonight. Marconi and Apia will be watching this one very keenly and hoping that St. George FC, like they've done very often this season, can play spoiler to teams in the Big Six. They'll be hoping that we see a repeat of when these teams met at Christie Park. St. George FC taking a point off Spirit that night, seconds away from taking all three. A similar result would mean we have a 3-horse title race heading into the final fortnight of the season. Spirit are pumped up and ready. 3 games to go for them. They are in the driver's seat in the race for the title. St. George FC looking to play spoilers. They will get us underway from right to left. Big night in the context of the season in New South Wales. Can St. George FC take more points of Big Six teams and bring us into a 3-team title race? We'll find out in the coming 90 minutes. Chan Yelchan will get us underway. St. George FC can't make finals, but they are looking to play title spoiler tonight. Spirit 1 point above Marconi and Apia. This is their game in hand as the rain has really picked up here at Barton Park. You can expect an entertaining 90 minutes coming up. That was certainly the case when these teams met at Christie Park. A topsy-turvy game which saw 4 goals and the points split. A little bit controversial as well in the dying seconds of that game. So George FC were breaking away up 2-1. A very questionable tackle was waved off. Spirit then go up the other field and score. And that is a precious point. They all are, especially considering when the difference between themselves and the chasing pack is 1 point. This game was postponed because of weather. No chance it was getting postponed again. Here is Yelchan. Lovely touch. Darting down that left-hand touchline, but getting back there was Brady Smith. Spirit manager David Perkovic showing off his squad depth. He makes 2 changes from the team that travelled to Wollongong and got a point. I'll run through the lineup very quickly. Chris Marquez in goals. Brady Smith, number 4. Corey Kavanagh, one of the 2 changes. He comes in and wears the armband. Frankie Lukovic is in number 7. Yu Akubo is in number 9. All class. Michael Conestabo is in 10. Ollie Wigan into the starting lineup again in number 11. Simon Nicholas is 13. A big in youngster, Charlie Broomhead. Number 18 is Andre Takami, and the in-form Takumi Afuka is in 22. That ball bounces, and Yelchan might get there first. It's an early chance for St. George FC, and Yelchan pulls the shot wide. Wow, that is a warning shot. Apologies for the pitchiness of my voice, but wow, we almost got a stunning start here at a monsoonal Barton Park, which I'm sure you can see on your cameras now. Puddles taking full effect. This field has seen better days, that's for sure. It's looking a little bit like a paddock. I'm sure the groundsman has had a couple sleepless nights. Games called off. Sydney's had monsoonal weather, but tell you what, that hasn't dampened the start. Spirit were very pumped up. Pre-game, they were very vocal as well as we started this game, but they almost went behind. And here they go, looking to respond in a flash like we know they're capable of. Great tackle. Stopping Kubo there. That is a huge confidence booster for Jaden Cito and that entire St. George FC backline. It doesn't get any harder than drawing the most electric front three in the competition. Spirits front three. As I mentioned, they made 3 changes coming into this game. George FC make 2 from the team that drew to Sydney FC, but was so close to winning. I'll run through those changes now. Mackenzie Siren is in goals. Rocco Smith is in number 2. Their captain, Troy Danaskos, is in 3 as Yelchan and Kavanagh go shoulder to shoulder. And St. George, half a peel there at a corner, but it's a goal kick. Nicholas Caliero is one of those changes. He comes into the lineup. The man who causing headaches early, Chan Yelchan, is in number 9. Jaden Casello wears the 10. Having a fantastic season. Bay Antonio is in 15. Caden Wright rubbed the crossbar against Sydney FC. He's in 16. Johnny DiPizio is in 18. Javier Rodriguez is the second of those changes in 23. Jaden Cito, fresh off making that big tackle on Kubo, rounds out the 11. It is Caden Wright turning, and that pass straight into Takumi Afuka, but thankfully for St. George, it ricochets off him straight to Rocco Smith. If you're just joining us now and you missed the context of this game, this is Spirit's game in hand. They lead Apia and Marconi by 1 point. A win today would put them 1 win away from wrapping up the premiership. A point today is enough to book their spot in the Australian Championship, but it's George on the attack once again. Kavanagh, one of a few changes by David Perkovic as he rotates his squad, which backing up from a trip against Wollongong. That touch there is a little bit heavy. And as you can see, the ball doing wicked things in this mud and the rain that we've had. This game is a replay from a game that got called off. Kubo and Cito going shoulder to shoulder again. That's going to be a good battle, it looks like. Wigan. What a luxury it was, David Perkovic, to have Ollie Wigan return mid-season from an injury. He's returned almost like a new signing and taken this team to a new level. I had the pleasure of calling Spirit's 5-0 win against Marconi a couple of weeks ago, and I've got to say, I have never seen anything like that. A team like Marconi, great team now, defending champions, who hadn't conceded a goal in a month. The week before that one, getting absolutely dismantled by this Spirit juggernaut who have taken some very high-profile casualties earlier in the season. They dismantled Blacktown, although Blacktown did get a red card in that game, but they were dominant, and then they followed that up with a 3-0 win against Apia, which made everyone take notice. They went undefeated the first 10 weeks of the season, losing to Marconi, who were also undefeated at that time, and there might have been just a few concerns that they were going to drop off. The week later, they were beaten convincingly by Sydney Olympic, then drew to their opponents tonight. St. George FC, that ball bounces, and Connor Stubble might be there. George happy to go long and try and play their way out, and they might now. Caden Wright, lovely touch. He looks up, he's got Yelchan, the only man in support. He's trying to offer support. Here comes the rest of the support. It was at the back post, but that ball just slightly overhit. Nice football, though, from St. George. Since that draw at Christie Park against St. George, Spirit have been perfect, and they've just answered every doubt, every challenge. 6 past Rockdale, 5 past Marconi as that cross is blocked. And because of that, Spirit now in the box seat to wrap up a premiership. What an amazing job Perkovic has done. Chan battling again. Huge shout at a foul there. They play on though. Lovely football. Here we go. Early chance for Spirit. Taken. Spirit lead once again in a night where they could make history and join the Australian Championship and put one hand on the premiership. They take the lead here at Barton Park. Lovely football and a beautiful finish. And Spirit, just like that, they've absorbed pressure. And like they've done so often this season, they take the lead and they score with relative ease, it has to be said. How does St. George respond? Takumi Afuka scores again. He is on fire. He's our reigning striker of the month, and he shows why. Takumi Afuka. Go long. Now, St. George FC, if you're neutral tonight and you want to just see this title race be dragged on as long as possible, St. George FC have taken points of 5 of the top 6, including oh, that looks like it hit a hand. Referee agrees. They go quickly. Here's Afuka. Nice challenge there. Mentioned that St. George backline's going to get their hands full. Entire front three. It's pick your poison. You've got Iwakubo having a fantastic season. Takumi Afuka, striker of the month. Michael Conestable, midfielder of the month. The Old Chance jersey was grabbed there, and somehow the foul isn't given. I tell you what, if Spirit got the other end and score, there would have been a riot, but flag was up. Home fans letting the ref know that missed one there. Was pretty clear as day, but, you know, it's tough being a referee. It's not an admirable job, that's for sure. 12 minutes gone. Spirit lead this game by 1-0. If you're just joining us now, Takumi Afuka has given Spirit the lead. How do St. George respond, or is it going to be a case of Spirit really start turning the screws? Wigan was looking for Afuka. His pass was cut off. Team absolutely stacked when you consider that there's a few players missing as well. Jordan Perez is one of them, of course. Grant Cornwell, usual captain. And, of course, Jamie Pachewski. Very strange second yellow card on Saturday night against Wollongong Wolves. He was on a yellow, and then I recommend on our New South Wales YouTube, maybe at halftime, go back and check that card. Lovely feet and a beautiful turn as well. That was lovely. Spirit really starting to get comfortable now. Afuka, beautiful touch, but he was off. Yeah, Paczewski, second yellow card. It was a very strange one, as I said. Wolves were getting ready to take a free kick and just gives away the silly pushes the play, kicks the ball away, I beg your pardon. And then just went off. He just gave himself up. I don't know, maybe he was busy tonight. Big loss for Spirit right now. They are not feeling the effects of it, though. They're starting to get in control. The pressure on Siren there. Lovely back heel, but Lukovic was there to cut it off. Now they go long looking for Akubo. Smith hit his chest. Goes Smith, made the mid-season move in the Central Coast Mariners. Had a chat with Rocco a couple of weeks ago, works at Ultra Football. Did a great job pressing my Liverpool jersey. Having a chat with him, and he said that very happy with the move. Danaskos looks up, goes long, looking for Casella. It might land for him here. It does. Lovely football there from Danaskos. And then peels out for the return pass, and he gets it. Yelchen, patient build-up play by St. George. Casella, half shouts there. It might fall! And it was sliced and then headed back on the rebound. Much better football from St. George. Started from Danaskos. Marquez gets us restarted. 2 games to go after this one. A win here, and Spirit would go 4 points clear. Cito does really well because Connor Stubble was steaming down on him there to intercept, and then I put the commentator's curse on him. I'm sorry, Jaden. Wigan. Connor Starball. Connor Starball looking for Wigan. He's got plenty of space, and Kubo in the middle. It tries to pick him out, but Smith does well to send that one to safety. Very entertaining and open. Opening 16 and a half minutes here at Barton Park. Spirit lead, but home team have had their moments. Wigan does well to keep it in. Can he find some room? He's getting 2-on-1 handicap matched at the moment, and St. George end up with it. An achievement this would be. Spirit. 3 years ago they were in League 2, of course. They did win a Waratah Cup, so they're no strangers to silverware under David Perkovic. Here's Kubo, flag stays down, and Spirit double their lead. And they could be on their way to the Premiership in New South Wales. Kubo, who's having a fantastic season. Spirit, the fairy tale, could turn into silverware. They are in the driver's seat, not only in this match, but in the title race. Kubo gets in on the act. And just like that, like we've seen so many times in season 2025, Spirit score goals in a flash, and they have 2 inside 18 minutes. I usually follow up something like that by saying, how do St. George respond? But they haven't started this game poorly at all. They've nice football. Chan Yelchan's look dangerous, but Spirit, like they've done to everyone really, are ruthless, and they can put goals away quickly. And now St. George have a mountain to climb. Yelchan does well to battle there and get in front of Kavanagh. This little contingent of St. George fans have liked what they've saw. Plenty of effort there, of course. Finals football is out of the equation. For St. George FC, but it's been a season with plenty of highs. First, Gray well intercepted there from Wigan to get there ahead of Danaskos. He's got Conestable ahead of him, and Akubo. The pass was slightly overhit. I think he was looking for Akubo, and that one trickles out. With that goal from Akubo, he moves one clear of Michael Conestable as Spirit's top goal scorer this season. Great tackle there from Kavanagh. Skipper thrown into the 11 as David Perkovic makes 3 changes, and we've seen plenty of it early, the stand-in skipper. Afuka. Broomhead. Back to Afuka, dancing and weaving like he always does. Afuka once again. Antonio getting back there and helping out. Always all hands on deck, trying to contain the reigning striker of the month. This time they do go long looking for Akubo, and the flag was up for offside. So 20 minutes gone. Akubo doubled their lead after Takumi Afuka scored the opener. Usual suspects for Spirit, and this game goes like so many have gone in season 2025. You can bet on Michael Conestable getting in on the act soon, but St. George FC have had their moments. They go long. Flag stays down. Akubo does really well to hold it up and slot it in. Absolutely brilliant from Akubo. Goal number 16 for him. And Spirit lead this game by 3-0. Wow. Just like that. Akubo. He might look small, but I tell you what, he punches above his weight. Absolutely dynamite, a handful. Any defender does so well, knows exactly how to use his body. Did it there once again to hold the ball up, and then he had the cool head to slide it past a helpless Mackenzie Siren, who's had to pick the ball out from the back of his net 3 times already. And I'll say it once again, George have not been bad. They definitely don't deserve to be 3 goals down, but Spirit, like they always are, against David Perkovic, absolutely clinical and ruthless, and 3 goals up. In the context of the season, they'll be going 4 points cleared. Smith with a great tackle. George, they're going to get back into this game. A set piece will help. They've pulled off some impressive comebacks in season 2025. This one would raise the bar to a new level, though, if they could do it against a team that looks like they're going to be top at the end of the season. And also booking their spot in the Australian Championship. Cito delivers it. Header looping back there. Smith was there. Might sit up here. St. George throw. Can they get something into the box and try and get back into this game? They started the game well. Pizio. Pressured there. Haven't been able to get the top goal scorer, Bay Antonio, into the game yet. Yelchan, he's been involved and looked the most likely. In half a second there, it looked like Chris Marquez may have been in a bit of trouble, but it was always sailing. Safely away. Go though, that one doesn't land safely for Spirit. Strong by Connor Starboss. Siren has to come off his line and just concedes the throw there because Iwakubo is on a hat-trick. Lovely football once again. Beautiful. Releases Takami, floats it into the back post. Cito was there to nick it off Akubo the last second, and now St. George looked to break, but Akubo is in a mood here at Barton Park. Wigan. This game just playing into Spirit's hands perfectly. That one might fall for Akubo, but the flag was up. Smith. Here's Antonio. You can see that ball just skipping along this field, which has taken a hammering. Of course, George FC out of finals contention, but something to build on. We head into next season. It's been a season full of positives. Tonight, though, looks like it's going to be a learning experience unless they can pull something miraculous out of the bag here. Back to game at Lambert Park earlier in the season where they came out back by 3-1 to win a point. On the receiving end of some comebacks in season 2025. George FC led by Antonio to say that they need to learn how to win on the Football New South Wales podcast earlier this season. They've done plenty of that. Some big wins over Blacktown, a first derby win since getting promoted back to the top flight against St. George City. Spirit, though, are on fire, and the title rivals Apia and Marconi would have loved that result at Wollongong. Always a tough away trip. Doesn't look like we're going to get something similar here. Tonight looking like the Spirit we saw at the Palace a few weeks ago and against Rockdale the week before that. On a star ball. Get it out wide. Beautiful. Back heel there from Ollie Wigan. Chance now for St. George to break. They played out wide to Danaskos. Scored plenty of goals this season. Troy Danaskos, they'd love him to find one here. And get Jaden Casella and Bay Antonio into this game as well. Chance to shoot here for Corner for St. George. Gets a round of applause from the fans. That was Gianni Di Pizio. Can St. George get back into this game? Chance from the corner. Di Pizio, long effort, won the corner. He's now going to take it. It's the right foot of Di Pizio. He gave Marquez something to think about with the shot. Can he do it again? Yelchan rose up there, but couldn't get clean contact. And Spirit do really well to bring it down and go direct straight away like they so often do, but it was cut off. Smith thought he was fouled. Referee was right there and disagreed. Now a chance for Spirit. Poor players forward, but Caballero was there to intercept, and thankfully for Spirit, because Connor Starble was there at the near post. Take it short and go long. So remember, coming into this game, Spirit only needed a point to be joining the foundation teams in the Australian Championship. It looks like they're going to go two better than that and wrap up all three. Spirit, of course, no strangers playing on the big stage. They played as the Northern Spirit in the NSL in the late 90s. Waratah Cup winners a few seasons ago. So was still in the second tier, but about to hit the highest of highs here. If in their third season of NPL football, they can wrap up a premiership that nobody, apart from maybe their players and staff, would have predicted at the start of the season. But the signs were there early. After the fortnight of big wins where they knocked off Blacktown and Apia early, that was a sign of things to come. Akubo already has 2 today. Out to Broomhead. Youngster thrown into the starting 11 tonight and has done a great job. Does not look out of place at all. Looking for Afuka that time. Danaskos gets there first ahead of Lukovic. Smith. Danaskos. Long looking for Casella. Got double-digit goals this season. The great partnership with Bay Antonio, but they've been kept quiet so far. Wigan can't believe it. Him and the Spirit Ultras that have made the trip here, adamant that that should have been a Spirit throw. As the rain picks back up here, but nothing going to dampen this party for Spirit. They're going to book their spot in the Australian Championship. I think we can go ahead and say it now. They are also going to leave themselves needing just one win in their last 2 to wrap up the premiership. Of course, premiership, silverware means a lot for the club, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean too much because it's finals football. Well, Rockdale were the victims of that last season, wrapping up the premiership comfortably, but then beaten convincingly in the grand final. Finals football is very cruel. I'm a football purist. I believe that first past the post should be the champion, but I understand why we have finals football. From the entertaining for fans, more football as well. Smith bursting forward, looking for a teammate. Finds Yelchan, who tries to play it out wide to Antonio. To have firepower on the bench, St. George, Justin Poon. Not one of the substitutes this evening. He was fantastic at Christie Park. I'll run through those substitutes really quickly for the home team. Sunday Yona, Nicholas Skataric, Neil Axford, Jesper Weber, Kuto Tuyuka intercepted there. Falls to Antonio, who's just trying to find some room, but can't find it there. And now Spirit look to break. Referees playing advantage. Wigan needs some room to find the cross. Takes his time. Gets it back onto his right foot. Dancing and weaving and getting around Danaskos, but then running out of room. The ricochet might still fall here for Takami, but the shot was blocked. And that one trickles out for a throw. Just to finish off those last two names of the subs, Kudo Toyoka and Hasan Kamerovic. Oh, bouncing ball, causing havoc there. Uakubo somehow ended up with it. Looking for his third. Holds the ball up. Jersey tugged a little bit. And now he throws his hands up saying, come on, ref. It's one of those ones where if it probably happened in the middle of the field, it was a foul, no doubt, but different story, unfortunately, when it's in the box. Spirit would love to have this game wrapped up nice and early. Chance to maybe give a couple of their front three an early mark. So maybe see someone who's just come back from a long-term injury like Ollie Wigan, given an early one as well. Big last fortnight coming up for them. Title definitely not wrapped up, but if they were to go 4 points clear with 2 to go, you'd have to say they've got 1.5 hands on it. Player stayed down here for St. George, and although the weather has been pretty grim, it hasn't affected the quality of this match. Although every time there's a bouncing ball, you can see the moisture just coming off the field. The longer this game goes, the more that field's starting to look like a paddock. I feel for the groundsman or woman. Thankfully, though, we eventually did get this game restarted. It was called off a week and a half ago, and came into this game neutral and hoping for, maybe you're an Apia or a Marconi fan or player, hoping for an upset. You would have liked what you've saw from St. George in the opening, but Spirit, that's been their trademark this season. Just ruthless, creating, I wouldn't even say taking their chances. They create the chances out of nothing, and then they're ruthless. Doing what they did at the Palace, and it's Rockdale against Apia and Blacktown as well, scoring goals quickly. But there's still plenty of time for St. George to set up an improbable comeback. It's a mountain that's quickly turning into Everest. Cito Right, lost his footing momentarily. Kavanagh has been impressive. Coming into the team with the armband on as well. Smith's been rock solid as well. He's harassed that time by Yochan, but he does well to ride the challenge from him and Rodriguez. And they look to Kumumi Afuka. Danaskos threads it through, looking for Saito, who was just on his heels a little bit there. Beg your pardon, it was Casella. Lovely touch. That one just got away from Lukovic, and Wigan there once again sends it long, gives George something to think about because it sits up perfectly for Akubo, who's been the star of this half. He's double. The reigning striker of the month, Takumi Afuka's goal, has spirit in the Australian Championship and with one hand on the Premiership as well. Wigan. Kavanagh. Spirit happy to just control possession, in control of this match. Konestabo looks up and was looking for Iwakubo there. One thing about Iwakubo, which always amazes me, someone who doesn't look like the biggest number 9. He's absolutely dynamite in the air. Punches well above his weight. To use a boxing analogy, he's a fantastic tackle by Kavanagh, who's been excellent. And now he bursts forward. He's got a chance to lay it off for Afuka. Player hits the deck for St. George. And the referee gives the delayed whistle, which puts an end to that counter of attack. Five minutes to go in the first half. Goal to Takumi Afuka and a double to Iwakubo. Has Spirit on the verge of history. They'll enter the Australian Championship with a point, and they'll go 4 points clear with 2 games to go. Tonight's been a return to the spirit we've gotten used to in season 2025 after a tough fortnight, excluding this game that got rained out. Very grueling 90 minutes against Sydney Olympic, a game that they left until very, very late to win. And then a 1-1 draw on Saturday night against the Wolves. Antonio looking to get into this game, but that one just skips ahead of him and out for a goal kick. Marquez, apart from a Pizio heat check about 5 minutes ago from long distance, he hasn't had too much to do in goals for Spirit, and he's happy to just look a couple more precious seconds off the clock here. The attack will get all the praise in the first 45 minutes, but you have to give some of it to that man. And the rest of that back five that David Perkovic likes to play with, rock solid in defence, and then dynamite going forward as well. Both fullbacks, Wigan and the youngster Broomhead, filling in tonight and doing a fantastic job. Wright. Tidy player, Caden Wright, but he just runs out of room there. Smith sends it out for a throw. George have goal scorers in their team. Bay Antonio and Casella have double-digit goals this season. They're going to need to find some. They can flip this game on its head. And Spirit in firm control of it at the moment. They throw, they go long. Beautiful run once again. And lovely feet there. Takumi Afuka. And this last 5 minutes, Spirit just really starting to turn the screws, dominating possession. As we're in the last 60 seconds of normal time here in the first half. Cito out to Danaskos. He's also no stranger to finding the back of the net this season. Gonna need something, St. George, if they're to get back into this game. It's not looking likely at the moment, though. It did earlier in the first half, but Spirit have wrestle control here and are cruising. Along that little half clearance there falls for St. George. They might get one last chance here. Antonio shoots, but blocked. Rock solid at the back once again. 1 minute of added time. Felt like first 45 has breezed by, and the fourth official agrees. Despite 3 goals. Been any other stoppages really, and speaking of stoppages, it doesn't look like anything is going to stop Spirit's charge to the premiership, unless George can produce something crazy in the second half. Fuka does really well in the last chance of the first half. Looks like it's going to fall to the team that is in a dominant position. St. George FC are going to need to pull off an Istanbul-esque comeback if they can stop Spirit's charge to the title. 3 goals to the good, goals to Takumi Afuka and a double to Yu Akubo has Spirit in the Australia Championship at this stage and with one hand on the premiership. Big 45 minutes coming up in the context of the season. Will we see a comeback, or will it be more of the same from our potential soon-to-be premiers? You'll find out on the other side of this halftime break. welcome back. Players back out for the second half, and this next 45 minutes follows the same trend of other Spirit games we've seen this season, and we could see some more goals scored here at Barton Park unless St. George can find the goal and set up an Istanbul-esque comeback. Spirit in cruise control, absolutely dominating, 45 minutes away from booking their spot in the Australia Championship and going 4 points clear. I just got handed a coffee by St. George faithful. It's a cold night. Great idea. Whoever set up the mobile coffee truck here at Barton Park. You never need a coffee when you're watching these two teams in 2025, particularly David Perkovic's Spirit. Gumi Afuka got the party started with a great solo goal. He slotted past Mackenzie Siren and then Yu Akubo. Double, 16 goals now for Spirit's number 9. Them 3 to the good. Do we get the dream start here? We might. Looking for a shot. And that's a better start, though, from St. George. Nearly the dream opening to this second half if they are going to find a way back into the game. They're going to need that first goal pretty soon. It was DiPizio who's still animated and frustrated with that one. Gianni DiPizio made the move over mid-season from Sydney Olympic. Couple good mid-season signings, some youngsters I mentioned. Rocco Smith as well made the move over. Came over with academy experience at the Central Coast Mariners. This team, it's a very young team. So much so that Antonio, who I believe is my age, 28, is one of the elder statesmen in this team. Vivian Michelli's got a squad here that is definitely built for the future. You think iconic Australian football clubs, you think St. George FC, the former St. George Budapest, looking to return to the heights of those great teams of the 60s and 70s, the foundations of Australian football, this great club. Of course, they sent 5 of Australia's 22 in our inaugural World Cup back in 1974, including the great Harry Williams and Johnny Warren. Founded in 1957, like many Australian football clubs, by immigrants. Theirs were Hungarian, hence the name, of course. So, NSL winners in 1983, but in recent history, you thought St. George, you thought of their rivals, St. George City, who came out of nowhere and turned into a mainstay in this competition. A club that was founded in 2016, but FC returned to the top flight. They experienced some financial difficulties a few years ago, but they were back last year and building on that with a really impressive season 2025, which sent plenty of highs, some great wins, points off Spirit earlier in the year, Marconi, Apia, Sydney United, a win over Blacktown, Derby win, their first since being promoted last season. But this is definitely a learning experience for this young team against the benchmark in this competition, a team that's done it to the powerhouses. And let's not stop them, though. playing good, positive football, and they've started this second half the same way they started the first. See if they can get something tangible and get back into this game. Yelchan, the flag was up, and that ends that move. What a story, though, this would be. Of course, they haven't wrapped it up yet. They still have to wait another week before they do that, but NWS Spirit, former Northern Spirit. Spent decades in the lower tiers, state league, etc. But you can tell when you watch this team play under David Perkovic, they have a distinct style. Perko ball is on the verge of delivering a premiership, and it will, into a berth in the Australia Championship where they join the other foundation teams in this state. Apia, Marconi, to the Olympic, Wollongong, and Sydney United. Nice turn from DiPizio. He's half chance. The first, say the only chance either team in this second half. 5 minutes of it gone. Spirit lead by 3-0. They have a deep squad. They've showed that off by making 3 changes and still be in the box seat. And that one was cynical there from Brady Smith, and I think he knows what's coming next. That was a sacrificial challenge there to stop the break, and Smith ends up in the book. See if home team can make something from this set piece. Get their way back into the game. Set us up for a detaining last 40 minutes. It's hung in there, and Marquez puts his body on the line. Cleans up Yelchan in the process. Both players had eyes for the ball. Just one of those unfortunate circumstances where they end up colliding. Yelchan down for St. George, and Marquez getting a little bit dusty as well for Spirit. Both players about to receive some treatment. Yelchan's still down. He's definitely worse for wear in that exchange. Let's hope that they're both okay. It's been 53 minutes full of energy from Chan Yelchan. Still down here, Yelchan for St. George. Marquez has gotten back to his feet. Set piece. Free kick hung in right on the edge of Spirit's box. Marquez came out to claim it, and him and Yelchan, who both had eyes for the ball, coming together. Looks like Yelchan's going to be okay, which is good news. Both players. Yelchan's still a little bit ginger. Both players shake hands. Love that. And let's hope that Chan Yelchan is okay, because he's looked most likely for the Saints. Play back underway. So St. George came into this game unable to make finals football, but also safe as well. So purely playing title spoiler tonight, but unable to stop the Spirit juggernaut. 3 quick goals inside 30 minutes. As the away team on the verge, going 4 points clear. St. George finished their season. Couldn't play title spoiler, but they can potentially play relegation provider next week. And I should say this weekend. And they take on Western Sydney. Big challenge there. It was a late one from Rodriguez. Card shown straight away. Spirit take free kick short. Out wide and it fizzes out. This game's just fizzled out a little bit after that lengthy stoppage. It's been a bit stop-start. Just crawling a little bit at the moment after I wouldn't call it frantic, but just a dynamite. First 45 minutes absolutely flew by, and player down once again. It's Chen Yelchen, who I have a feeling has maybe succumbed to that knock earlier. That's a sad sight if he does have to come off, because he's looked dangerous and full of energy. St. George's number 9. Yelchen receives treatment. Through St. George's last game, so their second last game this Saturday. They travel to Western Sydney before finishing up the season here against Manly in a fortnight's time. Yelchen hobbles off. His night comes to an unfortunate end. It's going to be Jesper Weber. Weber comes on to replace Yelchen, the first change of the game for either team. Smith, lovely switch. Finds Antonio. See if Bacon put his fingerprints on this game, or footprints, I should say. Get his team back in it. He's been one of the signings of the season. Very underrated signing. 11 goals for Bay Antonio, but nothing to speak of yet in front of goal for St. George FC. Bouncing ball. Said it a couple times, but he's doing very well to deal with the weather variables today. The pitch is definitely one of them. It was in rough shape to begin with all the weather that we've had here, and you've just seen it in full effect there. All skipping up on Caballero. Broomhead takes the throw. Fuka. That one hit his hand. And hour gone here. We're in a little bit of lull period in this game. Let walk through this second half. So a very exciting third. Saw 3 goals, but George had their moments as well in that first half. Haven't had any moments really for either team to speak of. We've had lengthy stoppages as well. Injury to Chan Yelchan. Other player down here. So it looks like it's a St. George player again. So this night going from bad to worse for St. George if they're going to lose their second player to injury. It looks like it's Rodriguez. Javier Rodriguez down for them. Tell you what, that's a footballer's name. Javier Rodriguez. He's back to his feet. Has to come off, though. Let's just hope it's that silly football ritual where they go off and then come on again. No, he's down, so could be a second St. George player to succumb to injury. Spirit came into this game with their title hopes in their own hands. Now it's firmly in their hands, this result. If it stays this way, it's looking very likely that it will. Put them 4 points clear with 2 games to go. Broomhead, that one just got away from him. They finished their season with 2 teams fighting for survival. What storylines we have going into the final fortnight of the season. Can they put this game to bed? Lovely football once again. Conestable yet to get in on the act. So plenty of time for him to do so. So Spirit, remember in their last 2 games, they only need 1 win. This weekend, on Saturday, they'll be at home to the Central Coast Mariners, who are a completely different team. Have knocked off some big names, of course. None bigger than Marconi. Great interception there from Caballero. They came back from 2-0 down a few weeks ago against tonight's home team, St. George FC. Big tackle, gets a huge round of applause there. And the Spirit fans that have made the trip over the bridge down here to Barton Park from Broomhead. Nice crisp passing there from the substitute Weber. Can he orchestrate something? The start, the catalyst of a comeback. Nicholas. Referee blows a whistle. We're going to get a foul here on Weber, right on the edge of the box. Best chance of the second half coming up for St. George to get back into this game. Lovely work from the substitute Jesper Weber. George getting ready to make another change. They're going to have to wait. Oh, this free kick. Swing it into the near post, and Safety first there. Headed away for a corner. There's an absolute bullet of a delivery there. And it's going to be Jaden Casella once again. Casella to take the corner. Low once again. Too low, but might fall out to him. It does. Antonio. One's looping to the back post. Headed away to right. He heads it back in. A little bit of head tennis going on there. And then they send it away on foot. Looking to toe it forward. Cedo it. Almost was a disaster for St. George, but Casella gets back there. All the way back from taking that corner. Caballero. For Weber once again. This time Nicholas sends it to safety. Smith may have handled that one. In fairness to him, he didn't know too much about it. Right. Rodriguez. Caballero. Caballero is long and well intercepted by Broomhead. They were looking for Weber. DiPizio, strong tackle on Nicholas. And then Casella sends it forward, but him and Weber just not on the same wavelength there. Substitute was on heels, but they're going to get it back here from the throw. Caballero. They're going to have to wait to take this throw because St. George making a double change. It's going to be Javier Rodriguez coming off. Nikola Skataric coming on. So Rodriguez and DiPizio off. Skataric and Sunday Yona on. Apart from DiPizio's shot early in this second half, which was a skewed effort. Wouldn't even call it a half chance, maybe a quarter chance. I can't recall another shot for either team in this second half. We've really limped to the finish line here, but George, you can just feel it. Have picked it up a notch now. It's now or never if they're going to start this comeback. Spirit going to make their first change of the game. Michael Conestabile comes off and Jacob Chidiak comes on to replace him. No goal for Conestabile, but all class as always. Spirit's number 10. Smith as well to intercept there. Danaskos. Been a great leader for this team, Troy Danaskos. Can he lead them to an improbable comeback? He's also chipped in with 8 goals this season. They'd love one from somewhere just to get it started as we approach the last 21 minutes of this game. Weber's been good since coming on. Tries to burst down that right-hand side, but a great tackle from Charlie Broomhead into the squad for this huge, starting 11, I should say, for this huge game. And he has not looked out of place at all, the youngster. He was playing under 15s 2 years ago. Hasn't looked out of place amongst the men of this 11 who are on the verge of going 4 points clear with 2 games to go You've joined us late on this Tuesday night. There's plenty of football on all across Australia. Spirit 3-0 up. Scored 3 quick goals like we've seen them do so often this season. 1 to Takumi Afuka, 2 to Yua Kubo. Here's Afuka once again. Ooh, tug of a shirt, does well to ride the challenge and hold it up. Plays it out wide to Lukovic. Nice tackle there and a beautiful back heel by Weber. He's been really good since coming on. Naskos. This is better from St. George. Using the football. Yona with a bit of space. Tries to square it up there for Antonio. That final pass just off. Lovely strength from Wigan. Bursting forward and getting around a couple St. George players, and then Caden Wright drags him down. Gets the yellow card, but that run got the double high five for Ollie Wigan from his teammates. Lukovic, the ex-Gonzaga Bulldog. In his college soccer for them. Big university over in the States. Felt just weird saying the S word then, I apologise. Spirit taking their foot off the gas in this second half, but they've still cruised. Nothing to really trouble Chris Marquez's goal in this second half, apart from one skewed shot from Gianni DiPizio. He also was involved in a heavy coming together with Chan Yo-Chan whilst trying to claim a free kick. Here's Smith, seen plenty of action. Definitely a learning experience for this young St. George team and some of the young defenders coming up against the juggernaut that is Spirit's front three. Nicholas, it's a fantastic football story that I heard on the Champagne Football podcast. Returned to park football in his later teens after playing for Marconi as a youngster. Broomhead, good ball, but Cito was there. It's a good thing that he was, otherwise Jacob Chidiak would have had a tap in. Yeah, very cool story, the Simon Nicholas story. Played for a few clubs in the NPL and League One as well, but has made a home for himself at the back for Spirit. Lead this game by 3-0 and have the corner. 17 minutes to go, looking to ice this game. That one goes through Siren's hands and it falls at the back post. It's hit over the bar. That spares Siren his blushes there. Yua Kubo is on a hat trick. Weber has offered them something different since coming on. Jesper Weber. Good header from Cito. Right. Here's Yona. Skataric mishits that one, but it ends up, looked like it was a mishit, but it ends up falling for Weber. Tony dropping deep, trying to get into this game. $16 minutes to go here. Time beginning to run out of this comeback, which was already very improbable at the start of this second half. Spirit finished the season this Saturday at home to the Central Coast Mariners, and then what a final day we could have if it goes to the final game, of course. They travel to the 8th wonder of the world, Popondetta Park, to take on Mount Druitt. That could be a scenario where They're travelling to Mount Druitt trying to clinch the title, and Mount Druitt are trying to stay up. That could be absolute scenes on the final day. Of course, they could wrap it up this Saturday. Afuka looking for some room. Burst of pace there. Electric, and that one hits the referee. Yeah, final 2 games. It's 2 teams fighting for survival. Mariners and Mount Druitt. Football, sometimes it just writes itself. Spirit going to make another change. Yona runs out of room. Going up against Ollie Wigan. We are going to see that change now. Actually had a referee's change. Can honestly say I've never seen that one before. We've seen 2 changes. There's a Spirit change and a referee change as well. Afuka's come off for Spirit, and Zayn Aluwalia has come on amidst all that amusement and confusion of the referee change. So the referee's okay. There's nothing serious, maybe just a little bit of cramp. I said that pitch has turned into a paddock, so maybe he's just tweaked something. That was a late and heavy challenge there, and the substitute ref's going to be thrown into the action. Just the talking to, so yeah, just to repeat that change, Afuka off. He got the party started. He's replaced by the man who scored in the reverse fixture, Zayn Aluwalia. They might not need another goal here, Spirit. They've been cruising in this second half. Fuka, though, isn't going to stop. Boot was high. There's nothing. Not going to warrant a penalty, and another strong challenge there. Charlie Broomhead, who's a fan favourite, I can tell, amongst the strong contingent of travelling Spirit fans that have made the trip. Down the bridge from Christie Park to Barton Park. As for Webbers, trying to win a corner there, but it's out for a goal kick. So Apia and Marconi, who I'm sure have had a keen eye on this game, hoping that St. George could repeat what they did earlier in the season and take more points off Spirit, will be disappointed. This has been another ruthless Spirit display. 3 goals to the good. We've seen them tune teams up to similar scorelines this season. I wouldn't call this one a tune-up. It was just a first half blitz. And that's been the difference in this game. It long for a Kubo. Broomhead, and it's a fantastic touch. Great ball to pick him out, an even better touch. And now a Kubo. Pushing Cito there. I thought maybe that could have been a kitty donation. A yellow card, but the substitute referee keeping his cards in his pocket. Poor guy, the substitute ref, was probably just expecting a easy night. Not that it's ever easy being a linesman. thrust into the action, replacing the referee. I can honestly say I've been commentating for 3 years. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Speaking of 3 years, this is Spirit's third season in the top flight. It's been promoted at the end of season 2022. No one could have dreamed of a turnaround like this. Final 10 minutes here. Spirit 10 minutes away, booking their spot in the Australia Championship. Going 4 points clear. Caballero. Antonio. All three title contenders in action on Saturday night. We will know the equation at about 7:30 this Saturday. Spirit can beat Central Coast Mariners. It won't matter what happens at Lambert Park or at Wynn Stadium where Marconi are taking on Wollongong. They will be premiers with a game to spare. If Central Coast can take points off Spirit and one of Apia and Marconi, at least, if not both, can win their game on Saturday, then we are going to the final game of the season to decide the title. Tonight is all about Spirit. They are 8 minutes away from wrapping up another impressive performance in this miraculous season. Final 2 changes for St. George. Kata Toyuka and Hassan Kamerovic have come on. Corner here for Spirit. Can they put the ribbon on this one? Leaping above the pack was Yuakubo. And that is that aerial prowess I was talking about in the first half. He leaped there. He got some hang time. Yuakubo. Still no hat-trick for you yet. Closest Spirit have come to scoring in this second half. Turn there from Skataric, but killer ball. Final pass in the attacking third. Cross has been off today for St. George, and that has been the difference. Spirit, by contrast, absolutely clinical when they've been presented with their chances. And that's been the case all season. Spirit scored goals like avalanches. They've come in. Went 4 up against Rockdale in the first half. Absolutely blitzed Marconi as well. And here they are, about to go 4 points clear. Nice run. And running out of room there. Okubo tries the 1-2, but doesn't come off. Looking to link up with Walia. Ball beats everyone and then bounces. Nicholas to Yuka. Just come on. Bouncing ball gives Cito something to think about because Okubo was breathing down his neck and he just sends that one anywhere will do. And Spirit going to make a triple change. Brady Smith, one of the players to come off. He's been rock solid at the back. Okubo won't get his hat-trick because he comes off, but he's made his mark on this game. 2 trademark Okubo goals. Andre Takami, the third of those players to come off. Lovely work there from Weber. Skips around one. Plays Casella. Looping corner, strong. Oh, that ball's skipped through, but Marks dives on it. He's in no rush to take this one. Definitely not electrifying 45 minutes we saw in the first half here in the second, but Spirit have earned the right to cruise their way to another victory. Give a couple of their players an early one as well. Big 2 weeks coming off, and of course now the prospect of the Australian Championship as well. So they made a triple change. Just to run through those names they brought on, Jay Coates, Austin Oates, and Jonathan Flood have come on to replace Brady Smith, Okubo, and Andre Takami. Can they put a ribbon on this performance? Floated in. Header away. Wigan was turning, he hit the deck, he thought he was fouled. Play on. Wigan been fantastic once again. He returned a couple months ago from a long-term injury, ACL. What an addition he's been to this team, like a new signing. At the business end of the season, made his influence in some big games. He was brilliant against Marconi. Fantastic once again tonight. Toyuka holds it up. Learning experience, this one for this young St. George team. Something for them to take into 2026 and beyond with this young squad in a season that's been filled with some highs, but also some heartbreaking games as well, particularly earlier in the season. They lost their opening 3 games despite leading in all 3, prompting Bay Antonio to say They need to learn how to win. They certainly did learn how to win as the season developed. Ultimately, Fabian Michelli's team missing out on finals football in a season where the first priority was survival. They wrapped that up pretty early on. You could tell that they weren't going to be a team contending for relegation. 4 minutes of added time, which is poetic because Spirit are going to go 4 points clear. Team won a Waratah Cup with David Perkovic in 2022 when they were still in the second tier in New South Wales. But this achievement, if they were to win the premiership, would be another level of insane under Perkovic. It falls for Weber, who ends up getting a shot away but can't get clean contact on it. Ends up looping up off his right boot, and Marquez claims that one. That could be it. Haven't seen a repeat of the reverse fixture. Crazy 2-2 draw at Christie Park, and every point matters. That point that they got earlier in the season, last minute equaliser Spirit got, that was the difference between themselves and Marconi and Apia coming into this game. They were 1 point clear of their fellow Australian title contenders, but lovely from Weber there. Gets a couple of olés from the fans. And it's Perkovic's team that'll be going olé, olé, olé all the way to 4 points clear. Flag goes up. Wigan. It's good. 2 meters offside there. He deserves a goal. He's not going to get it that time. Spirit given the luxury of being able to finish the game with entire front three on the bench, given a rest ahead of a big final fortnight. Just a reminder of their final 2 games this Saturday. A win against the Central Coast Mariners, who are fighting for survival, will wrap up the title. They don't do it this Saturday. They'll travel to Popondetta Park to take on Mount Druitt, who are in an even more grim position than the Mariners in terms of fighting for survival. That could be a crazy script heading into the final day if they're fighting for survival and Spirit are fighting for the title. But Spirit will be keen to avoid that and wrap it up nice and early at home. Celebrate with home fans, their friends and family, which I'm sure will pack out Christie Park on Saturday. One of the craziest achievements in this competition's history. You can't honestly put into words how impressive it is. Spirit, in that in 2022 was playing in League 2, or the old NPL 2. Now fast forward to 2025, they are on the verge of wrapping up the title. George FC have done a good job just preventing an avalanche and an onslaught of goals in the second half like we've seen Spirit do to other teams in season 2025. But with that win, Spirit book their spot in the Australia Championship and go 4 points clear with 2 games to go. In a history-making season under David Perkovic, if they win the title, they're going to have to change his name to Perkiola, because that is on the horizon. 1 win from their final 2 games is all Spirit need to be crowned premiers in New South Wales. Crazy achievement, a crazy season. brilliant first half, wrapped this game up. It started with Kumi Afuka's brilliant solo run, slotting it past Mackenzie Siren from a tight angle, and then Yua Kubo scored a double to put this game to bed effectively in the first half. A learning experience for this young St. George FC team. It finishes here at Barton Park. The home team, St. George FC 0, Spirit, Australian Championship bound Spirit, soon to be potentially Premiers of New South Wales 3. My name is Adamo Denegris on behalf of everyone at Football New South Wales. Hope you have a lovely night. We'll see you soon.